Did you know that Florida has produced over 1,700 NFL players, making it third on the list of states with the most professional football athletes? Today we have a special guest whose journey is truly inspiring. Meet James Wilder Jr., once a top 15 recruit nationally and a second-gen NFL talent. He won the BCS National Championship with Florida State in 2014, played in the NFL for the Bengals and Bills, and then made a successful transition to the CFL. With the Toronto Argonauts, he won the Grey Cup in 2017 and was named the CFL's most outstanding rookie that same year. Now James is giving back to his community as a coach at Chamberlain High School, taking over in Tampa, a team that recently faced a tough 0-10 season. He's dedicated to guiding these young athletes, helping them find purpose, and ensuring they avoid the mistakes he made along the way. So sit back, relax, and enjoy today's conversation with the incredible James Wilder Jr.
Did I do you justice there, James?
No, that was lit, man. I felt like a real champ coming up.
Hey, well, I know you've won at every level, man. So excited to be here at Chamberlain High School. We're going to talk a little bit about your journey to get here. But James, I'd like to just dive right into the questions here. So growing up, I was a coach's son, right? I felt like I was born with a hoop in my crib.
Right.
I wanted to ask you, can you tell me about your early life and really how you got into football?
Yeah. Like yourself, I kind of was born into football. It was a good thing that I loved football because it was definitely, I wouldn't say forced upon me, but just even on my baby pictures before I could even walk, talk, or anything, the football was always in the picture. I am second generation. My dad is James Wilder Sr. He holds the Buccaneers record still to this day. And I had no choice from there. I'm James Wilder Jr. And I have an older brother. So it put even more, not pressure, but it just made it more fun that, hey, you're the junior. You have to boom, you have to rock out. So I pretty much followed his footsteps from the name, the height, the football number, the position, the sport. And it led me to a 10-year career like he had a 10-year career.
Absolutely. So James, tell me a little bit about your relationship with your dad today. We talk a lot about fatherhood on my podcast. And, I know a little bit about, your history with your father, but I'd love to hear from your perspective. Where's your relationship at today?
Man, it's great, man. We're great. We talk all the time. I don't know if you see my posts. We're always watching ESPN Classic. Sports has always been a way that we could bond. But now that I've retired in the last year, it's honestly, we're in a new chapter of our relationship. My dad's old school. My dad played in the 80s, hard-nosed coach. He's gonna hard-nosed dad. He was my trainer throughout my life. So it was one of those tough love relationships, but you'll love me later when it works out. So now that I'm retired and it's the you love me later, our relationship is still strong, even stronger, but it actually shifts. We could have the cool laid back relationships now. We could have different conversations now. I love it.
Can I ask you, was it always that way? I mean, I know there was a time period, when you were in your teens where your father went away. How did that impact you and how did that impact your relationship?
It was tough. It was tough. Like I said, I grew up with my dad being my idol. And my mom and dad, they did go through a time where we split. We went through a time where me and my mom moved to Michigan. It was a very hard time for me. Just because, like I said, for my idol, I'm used to waking up with my dad every day. I was more of a daddy's boy than a mama's boy, right? So love my mom to death. I am a mama's boy, but I was like, look, where's dad? And it was new for me. I think I was around 10 years old when they split up. And for about a year and a half, it was a struggle for me. And once I got back to Tampa, back to dad, it was back smooth sailing, being able to have him back around the sport, training me back again with my brother. And then I eventually moved with my brother Curtis Wilder, and I came up from him from 13 on up.
Do you find yourself kind of leaning into that experience at times, being back supporting kids in your home community?
I do. I've known from the get-go, when my dad retired, he got straight into Boys and Girls Club. And this is what I've raised. That's all I know. I kind of seen him doing it, right? So I knew when I wanted to retire, I wanted to inspire kids. When you make it, you kind of realize that it's just, it really is just consistent hard work. Like, it's no secret of going pro. And I mean, if you could just really get these kids to believe that and understand that is just, it's gonna take some gritty work, but it's no secret of going pro. It's just staying consistent and just working hard, and then you could be that guy. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I kind of want to get everybody to understand. Like, I was a kid that used to walk to school right here with my Starberry $10 shoes on. You know what I'm saying? And under this guy right here, Mr. Turner, and he used to tell me, like, just trust. He used to tell me the same thing. Trust the process, bro. You could be just like your dad.
Yeah.
And just stay consistent. And I really did that. I seen my dad do it on a daily basis, so I knew what it took. And that's our motto here at Chamberlain. With it, whatever it takes, I'm taking. Okay. And we just want to try to show these kids what it takes. Yeah.
Whatever it takes, I'm taking.
Yeah, I like it. And we ask them, are you with it on a daily basis? So
I'm somebody that went to 4 different high schools myself, including homeschool. And you know, obviously there's a lot that I took away from those experiences.
Right.
I know you won the state championship here in the state of Florida, and you know, went to Chamberlain. Yep. Tell me about what it meant to you to put on a jersey for Chamberlain High School.
Man, like I said, you'll think we're building Chamberlain to be like that and hopefully even surpass what it was when I came here. Like I said, we were, at the time it was Mr. Billy T, Mr. Billy Turner.
Okay.
For me, he coached my brother before I was born.
Yeah.
He coached my sister, who's also in the Hall of Fame here.
Okay.
So with me, in my eyes, he was the Jimbo Fisher. He was the Bobby Bowden. He was the most winning coach in Tampa, Florida. So in my eyes, and my dad, we didn't live in this area. You know, he brought me here. Like, all right, you're coming to play for this coach. So you better not embarrass us.
Yeah.
Your brother did a good job. Just don't embarrass the family. My dad was big on don't embarrass the last name, right? So I came in with that attitude, and it just kind of took off from there. And I seen what type of work he put in. He was in his 70s by the time he was coaching me. And I seen what he gave to football, and if you give your all to football, what that can do to a program.
Absolutely.
And what that could do inspiring people. You know, my goal is to inspire these guys. Only 1% is going to make it, right? I mean, we want them all to at least get the free education into the next level. But at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, if you're doing it right, if you inspire them to come back and do the same thing. And that's kind of my goal. Hopefully they see me doing it like I seen him doing it. And kind of keep that train going.
Is there one memory or experience that stands out to you at your time here at Chamberlain that you look back on that was something that meant a lot to you or was special to you?
I remember I cried. I'm a Florida State guy, so I guess the Gators will get their quick shout out. But Urban Meyer was the first coach to come here. And at the time, the Gators in 08, 09, you know, they were just, I think they went to the championship like 3 years in a row. They were just, Urban Meyer was the biggest coach ever. So, yeah, bro, dude came to come see me.
Wow.
Dude came to come see me, and coaches like that didn't come to the school here, right? So I remember everybody was like, hey, I didn't even have a cell phone at the time. I remember I got to breakfast, and they was like, man, he has to be here to see you. And I was like, who? Like, the Gators coach. And I remember Coach Turner, him and his son, they brought me in the office, and they was like, man, this is just the beginning for you, bro. Like, you're trusting the process. And he's like, this is gonna start to happen for you every week. And sure enough, after that, I became like the #1 player in the nation, and coaches started to come in. My life changed from that day on.
That's amazing.
Yep.
And so you landed on Florida State. 2013, you win the Natty.
Yes, sir.
Something my friends back home in Oregon, they've never experienced with the Ducks. So I gotta ask you, can you describe that experience for me?
Man, it's I still say I had a 10-year pro career. I think college was probably the best years of my life. That brotherhood that we built. We attacked it. It was Florida versus everybody. Our whole team was from Florida, except for Jameis Winston was from Alabama. We had a few South Georgia guys, and we really attacked it like that. Like, it's us, Florida State versus the world, right? And man, we did it. It was undefeated. We did it. It was fun. We had a Heisman winner on our team. We were getting all the attention that you want as a 17-year-old, you know? And it was beautiful, man. It was beautiful. We won the championship. I stayed in California, and I started training the very next day. I had a daughter she's 11. I have my daughter now, and I was in college, and it was tough financially. It was tough, and I mean, I didn't want to. But I had to enter early because I was drowning financially. I think I owed like 2 apartments, like 3 racks. I was just like, we didn't have NIL deals. And I was like, man, I got to figure something out. So I entered the league, and I literally started training the next day with Travell Gaines.
And
I know it was a fun experience, though. Very fun experience.
No, that's well, and what a college experience. So we'll go in, win the Natty. You're playing with, Heisman Trophy winner, right?
Legends, legends.
And so I got to ask you, because I'm a fan of Jameis. I like a lot of the videos I see and his inspirational speeches.
They
and
tag me all the time.
Do you have any funny stories about Jameis or anything that stands out to you that you can share about Jameis in college?
I will say it's funny and scary at the same time, talking about the national championship. We hear Jameis is by far the funniest dude I ever met. It's not even, it's cliche to say that, but it's not even close. Because one, that's him.
Yeah.
He's really a funny, goofy young man. So, well, he's a full adult now, but young man. The national championship game, that last drive, I think we had a stop, or I think we might have got scored on. I forgot how it happened, but we were about on the 20-yard line, and we had like 2 minutes to make that last drive.
Yeah.
And I end up getting called out, but before the TV timeout, Jameis is in there. My brothers, this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna drop back, we like just real goofy, that's him. That's him. He's always like that. But I guess me, I was a little nervous, like, hey, JB, just make sure we focused up the last drive right here, dog. He's like, bro, relax. We got this. Just his voice, his accent, he throwing the hands out, and I was like.
And did that put you guys at ease a little bit?
It did, because I was just like, man, this is Jameis. Like, why are we being uptight now?
Yeah.
Like, we've never been uptight. And I don't want to speak for everybody, but I know I was kind of uptight. Like, bro, we got the ball
You're a
back.
freshman.
Yeah, we can do it. Like, but you're young. You haven't been in these games before. I don't want you to be too goofy and throw it away. Yeah. But Jameis is Jameis.
It's funny you say that because I'm in leadership, obviously, in business, and one of the things we talk a lot about is authenticity, and that gives people the ability to connect with you, right? And so when I look at the most successsual leaders, a lot of times they have a personality, right? They're having fun in the workplace and taking things light. Doesn't mean they don't take it serious. I mean, it's a balance, right? It's serious, but it's light. It's a different.
No, you hit it right on the head. It's the balance, because I don't want to say they don't take it serious, because they do. It's more of they know how to understand it's a game. Yeah. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, before some games, I've
seen you with the shirt off.
Yeah,
right?
I'm just like in my zone. Like that's when like you get in your Hollywood moment. That's the moment you think of. And then I look around. I see some guys over there just like, they're fidgety, they're on the creatine, they got the binder. I'm like, dog, like, relax, bro. Like, this is what we've been doing since we were a kid. So to answer your question though, Jameis Winston, him being authentic and being his normal goofy self showed me that he was in his comfort.
Something we both have in common, we found ourselves as young men on the other side of the law. And obviously, I've gone on to have a successful career in business. You've gone on to, have a successful football career.
Yes, sir.
You've built a business yourself. What did you pull from those experiences, or how did they shape you? And how do you use those lessons now to give back to the kids that you're working with today?
Yes, this is what I try to tell them all the time, man. It's all fun and games. It is all fun and games until you get behind those bars. Nobody to call. You don't know numbers by heart. You're just kind of sitting in there. And I tell them all the time, man, you gotta be responsible. Like, these little mistakes that we're making in high school, and you get detention or ISS. You're 18 years old next year, and in the real world, those are cuffs. And then after that, it's hard to get jobs, etc. So with myself, I've been to jail 4 times in college. It was a lot of goofy things, but it was things that I had to take responsibility for. I went to jail one time with VOP, violation of probation. I had to do anger management because they gave me battery on an officer. Oh, wow. And I got arrested. We'll go in order, I guess. I got, my freshman year, I got arrested with battery on an officer and resisting arrest without violence. I was chilling with my now ex-wife. She came, she had a warrant for her missed court date. They came to try to arrest her. She wasn't fully dressed. And I was like, whoa, let her get dressed. And they hit me with that. That was the violence. It all ended up getting dropped, of course, but I had to plead guilty in order to stay on the football team, because if not, during an investigation, you're not allowed to be on the team. That investigation would have went into the season. So I pled guilty. I did my 6 weeks of anger management, and when I pled guilty, I got kicked off the team. You got to get kicked out of the university to do your probation time. So I lost my scholarship, so I had to move. So I never got my court date, and I just got a call from one of my coaches. And the coach was like, hey, you have a warrant out for your arrest. I was like, what do you? I've been with you guys. Like, what do you mean? Like, you missed your court date, man. You got to turn yourself in. I'm like, oh, wow, okay. So I turned myself in for a missed court date. That looks bad. Every time, this is hitting ESPN, by the way. So this is, I'm like, wow, okay, this looks very bad. I've never been in trouble before. So it was tough on me mentally, because now I'm trying to manage the season. We're getting into the season.
This was while you were at Florida State,
This is all while I'm at Florida State. So then the third time, I finished my 6 week of anger management, and then I had to do 6 weeks of the community service things. So I went in, and they gave me a violation of probation, said I had alcohol on my breath. It was a 0.001.
Oh, wow.
So this is all over ESPN, but I go to court. I'm not pleading guilty to this. This is making me look crazy now. So they end up dropping it because it was admissible. Yeah. But it's, again, all over ESPN.
Wow.
And I mean,
it's interesting you say that though, because I had a buddy that got a DUI for driving at a .001.
Right.
And so to me, it's like that's the stuff that needs shared to these kids because they don't realize it.
You can't take that
have a sip and
you can't even
get by
take
the
that chance, man. It's not important, especially with the deaths that you're seeing right now.
Yeah.
And the ride shares that these universities have for the players now.
Yeah.
Like I know the NFL does it, and most universities they have the ride share, so you don't drive.
That's amazing.
So that's good that they do that because we didn't have it in our time, right? You know, and you see some tragedies happen every year, and you're not too good to say that can't be me.
And obviously there are deaths, and I think primarily about the workforce and what it means to have a felony on your record or even a misdemeanor on your record.
Right.
These kids need to understand that's 10 years that you're going to have to speak to that on your application.
Yep.
Period.
Yep.
And if it's a felony, you're not getting the job, right? And so. These kids are 18 years old and making decisions that are impacting them until they're 38. It's insane.
Yep, it's true.
The NFL, you played for the Bills and the Bengals. And, I told you, I'm going to send you a Bengals jersey so I can get that signed for my Airbnb, man. I appreciate that. But I want you to tell me, because I think, your NFL career, you went through a lot of highs, a lot of lows. You don't get drafted. You make it onto the Bengals. You get a couple of carries. You're playing with the Bills. You end up being released. I just want to know about again the highs and lows of that experience.
Man, oh man. Well, I'll tell you what. So the last time I got arrested was 3 days before the draft.
Okay.
It wasn't driving with a DUI. The fourth time was driving with a suspended license.
Oh wow.
So what I didn't know is my license has been suspended for like 3 years, and me unknowingly, or 2 years. I'm sorry. When you violate your probation, your driver's license automatically gets suspended.
Got it.
And I didn't know that. So 3 days before the draft, April 14th, in the broad daylight, not completely stopping at a stop sign. I'm not DUI or anything.
Wow.
I get arrested. I get a ticket and it's like, what are you pulling for? Your license is suspended. We gave you a warning a few years back. And I'm like, don't recall, but okay.
Yeah.
And I'm like, can you call somebody? Bro, you guys can follow me to the DMV. I told them who I was. I was like, I got a draft in like 3 days, bro.
Yeah.
Please don't do this, bro.
Man, they did it to you.
And he called his sergeant up. They called my mom up. We all trying to sit there and negotiate. I don't want special treatment, but really
yeah, it's your life.
It's my life. And sure enough, I'll never forget it. They were like, man, it's just a traffic ticket. It won't. I was like, bro, yes, it will, please. Yeah. So sure enough, I went to jail, came out. Had a bunch. I had the Saints, the Broncos, Cincinnati Bengals, Marvin Lewis, the Rams. They all reached out and was like, man, we were interested in you, but we're still going to reach out to you now in free agent because we know we can. And that hurt me. Hearing that from the Bengals really hurt me because that's who I was talking with the most. Yeah. And they were looking to draft. They ended up drafting Jeremy Hill in the second round.
Okay.
But they were telling me they were going to draft a running back in second to third round.
Wow.
And literally, sure enough,
that's a big money difference.
That's a big money. So my signing bonus ended up being, I think, like $6,800. And I'll never forget. I remember, Jeremy Hills was he ended up being the back they picked up, and I think his was like 1.8 million or something like that. Yeah, it was a huge difference. It was a huge. That traffic ticket isn't going to do anything. Yeah, that's how much it affected. Man. But at the same time, the lesson that I learned from that is I just got to be on top of all my P's and Q's. Like I'm having a whole bunch of irresponsible. Missing court dates, not knowing my license. These are very immature. Yeah, these are very immature mistakes. So this is what I try to pass down to these kids. Like, guys, I would have been able to buy a school if I would have been able to do it right versus just coaching here. So things panned out right, but I want to try to steer you guys from not taking that same track, and licking the same wounds.
That's neat, and it's neat to be able to give back on those experiences. So,
for sure.
I can feel that when I walk in this place, the impact that you're having on these kids. So, congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You went on and transitioned to the CFL. You win Most Outstanding Rookie. You were the Edmonton Elks Most Outstanding Player, and I still remember. Heading down to Arlen's, which is this little corner bar in Cincinnati, to watch my boy Jeff, who we had on the show earlier, play in the Grey Cup.
Foo-foo.
Yeah, Foo-foo, man. Shout out to Foo-foo, man.
Foo-foo.
And and man, I just I watched you win the Grey Cup.
Yeah.
And I'd love to hear about your experience in the CFL. but also like living in a new country, man.
Oh
like,
my goodness.
How crazy is that?
I'm not gonna lie. It was, when I tell you Canada almost took me and I almost never came back. Canada was so far. I loved Canada. And Canada owes me nothing, man.
Yeah.
It was beautiful there. It's good for families. I brought my family up there at the time. I went up there in 2017. I just got cut from the Bills.
Okay.
When I left the Bengals, go back just a little bit. When I left the Bengals on my own.
Okay.
When I left the Bills, I got cut.
Okay.
So that was the first time. I've been like the #1 player my whole life.
Yeah.
That was the first time
Tell
I
me
ever
about that
got
phone
cut.
call, man.
Man, it was
Did they even call you?
it was Rex Ryan who loved me.
Yeah.
And
Rex?
yeah.
Oh, come on.
I was like, come on, Rex, we've been bobbing out, dog. So Rex got me, dog. And I think they honestly did me some justice a little bit. They kept me into like the middle of the season.
Yeah.
And you know, they released me like week 6.
Man, I love Rex.
We signed Reggie Bush, and I knew what was what was up. It was tough.
Yeah.
At that time, honestly, I think I could have really stayed and had some patience and gotten with another NFL team. But I literally panicked. I'd never been cut in my life before, and I'm here 22, 23 years old.
Yeah.
And I'm telling my agent, I remember calling him every day. Every single morning, hey, did you hear from anybody? Did they hit you back? Bro, you gotta call somebody.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what's up with the CFL? What's up with the CFL?
Yeah.
Like, maybe I could do a season. And he's like, okay, I didn't know a team in the CFL. I was like, if I go, it has to be, I didn't know Edmonton, any of that.
Yeah.
It has to be Toronto.
Yeah.
If I go, it has to be Toronto. So he worked it out where they got my rights to Toronto. I was like, I'm gonna do a year in the CFL. Let's get back to the NFL. Like, let's just show them that I'm a baller, bro. Like the NFL's kind of tripping, is in my head, is what I'm saying. So I went to the CFL, win the MVP. We won the Grey Cup, and boom, a bunch of NFL teams are hitting me back up now. I'm like, let's go. Yeah. And then the CFL wouldn't release me. They said that you have to do another year.
They wouldn't release you?
They wouldn't release me, man.
Sorry, who were you going to go back and play for? They were just working?
I probably was going to be the Saints or the Bengals.
Got it.
It was going to be the Saints or the Marvin Lewis was still there. And that's who I've been in contact with, really just like, let me just show you.
Marvin was a man, too. One of the things that was so cool, I felt like Jeff Luke took me with him on his Bengals experience. Yep. You know, he brought me to training camp. I got to meet Marvin a couple of times. Yeah. And I got to go to the Cincinnati Zoo. It was a pretty cool experience because everybody thought I was on the team. So I signed an autograph. I was loving it. But it was neat to see Marvin and how he connected with his players and really a relationship guy, right?
Yep. He's a very relationship, like you can hit him up. I remember, so my first 2 days, I forgot what happened. My first 2 days, my signing bonus was like, I told you, like 6 racks or something like that. I think I ended up.
What'd you buy?
I don't know. I think that was enough to. I don't have those stories, dog. I think I paid my rent and my flights and stuff, and then it was like over with. So my first like 3 days, I slept in the stadium because I was like, bro, I'm trying to save money. I'm a broke college student. I just only.
Ocho wasn't there then, right?
Ocho just left. But when he tells you those stories, those are real stories. So like,
he was living there, right? Or sleeping in there.
I did the same thing for the first 4 days. So the suites, they have like Pepsi's there, the showers there, everything. So I remember Coach Lewis brought me in, same story, and he was just like, "Hey man, if you need to get into the extended stay," because I came early. I wanted to show them that I was early, so I came like 4 days early before. We were able to get our extended stays paid for as rookies. Yeah. So I wanted to show him like, look, I'm early, you know, but I didn't want to spend money. So he was like, you can't stay here. But he's like, if you need an extra day or 2 into the extended stay, we got you. But ever since then, man, I felt like that brought us closer, and he knew what it meant to me, and he just never, we're scared, right? You're coming in like, this is the NFL. Like, it's you're a little nervous a little bit. And he really calms you down. Like, bro, you've been doing this your whole life. I'm just a coach. I want to better you. I want you to make us better, obviously. And that's the relationship we have.
That's instilling confidence in his people, it sounds like.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
and then, like, he definitely did with me. Coach Lewis definitely did with me. He made me feel, he was just like, bro, you're a free agent. He's like, understand. He used to always tell me, understand why you're a free agent, not because of your skill. He's like, so the Mohamed Sanus, the AJ Greens, the Jeremy Hills, Giovanni Bernards, all these second round, first round draft picks, he's like, you're with them. He's like, don't feel like you're not in that circle. He used to always tell me that. And that's the head coach telling me, a free agent, this. So I used to be like, bro, he really likes me. And he used to keep me around. And I felt like I betrayed him a little bit that second time because I led our team in special team tackles, touchdowns, and yards. We killed the Bucks. I scored 2 touchdowns.
Wow.
And I was like, bro, I for sure made the team. And he called me and was like, we're going to put you on practice squad, dog. I was like, yo. So after the season, I was like, Coach, I gotta try to spread my wings out, man. I was like, I know you've always had my back, but I was like, these same running backs are going to be here. And I was like, I think I could play.
Yeah.
I think I could play.
Marvin did Jeff like that too, because he scored a touchdown in the preseason.
Yep.
He had a good preseason, man, playing fullback. And I remember I was sure he was going.
He held it down.
And the league went through that change, and they really don't. I don't know if they have fullbacks again, but
those fullbacks. He came in an awkward time.
Yeah.
Because fullbacks are just starting to be not even used.
Yeah.
Maybe 2, 3, 4 plays a game. That's it. So
obviously in sales, man, I'm in sales leadership. I deal with high pressure situations all the time. Every month we got to hit our numbers, and you're up against the gun pretty much, or up against the clock every single day.
Yes.
What have you learned about handling pressure situations, and how do you approach them?
Man, it's weird. So I don't know why I do this, but I respond better under pressure. And what we always say here in Florida, we call it GUMP.
Okay.
Great under major pressure, GUMP,
great under major
pressure. And that's what Ray McLeod, he knows about the GUMP too. That's what we grew up on. I mean, we came up on the movies, like those situations of the time you put yourself in. Like if you had a trampoline in the backyard, before you throw it, you yell out for the Super Bowl. Like those are moments that you live for. Like I couldn't wait for, weirdly you want to smash a team, but if it came down to 4th and 1 and coaches calling my play, I'm like, let's go. Like, look at this, bro. I'm getting goosebumps talking about it. Like that's the moment that you live for if you're a real competitor. And I felt like I've always performed better under pressure. Because it's just the moments that I kind of put myself in as a kid and manifested it as a kid. For the Super Bowl, 4th and 1 is just things you yell out as a kid. You know what I'm saying?
Kobe.
So, Kobe. You're not just shooting a 3 in the middle of the game. It's 3, 2, 1. You say that in your head. 3, 2, 1. So that's
It's practice.
It's practice. So when that moment comes, it's like, all right, let's go. This is a chance to kind of live that quick dream real quick. Like you relive this moment. If you really live football like you should, and you're thinking football all day and you're daydreaming football all day, what I noticed in my career, every situation that I've scored on, I've already imagined. Like even if it's been plays, I'm gonna show you plays after this to put in the podcast. They have to see it. My dad longest run in the NFL, I'm gonna show you this afterwards, is 80. Please show them this. This is crazy.
We'll put it on there.
The longest run that my dad has ever had in his career was 84 yards, right? Against the Minnesota Vikings in his Pro Bowl year. This is a play that I manifested since a kid. I didn't watch cartoons. I watched like Space Jam and stuff, but my dad's highlight VCRs, he had a big projector. That's what I used to put on. Like that's my cartoon. So I used to recreate that play every day of my life. When I tell you I just watched every day of my life, probably until about middle school, right? My rookie year in Canada, my best year, my MVP year, his Pro Bowl year. This is 1984, this is 2017. Same play. And I put them side by side. Same play. From the CFL field is different. So we have a longer field. He ran it from like the 16-yard line or something like that. Mine is from like the 26-yard line. We both run a stretch to the sideline. We both stiff arm. We both balance to stay in bounds. We both get pushed into the end zone. It's both exactly 84 yards. So I put the commentator of his voice talking over both of us, but it's so identical from the same yard line, same 84-yard touchdown. We're both holding the ball in the left hand. We both barely make it in the corner. When I tell you, you're gonna be like, it's no freaking way. But the power of manifesting is why I believe in it so much, because that is the exact play. My pops has over 600 carries. That's the one play I've practiced my whole life, and to be able to do it, it's crazy. That's not a yard off.
That's incredible.
I can't wait to show you.
We're gonna build that in, man. So I'm excited about it. So we both share a similar dream. I'd love to go back to my high school and coach basketball, right? You're here at Chamberlain High, and from what I understand, 0-10 last season, right? 0-10, and you're picking this thing up. Tell me about why it's so important to you to come back here and help these kids. And not just on the field, man. Like I'm watching what you're doing in the classroom with these kids, and you're really trying to do something special here. Why is it so important to you?
Man, it's extremely important because I'm coming from Plant, so I've been to 2 schools. I did 2 years here at Chamberlain High School. It's on this side of town. It's these kids probably have more adversities, more obstacles to overcome versus a school that this is the worst school sports. No, I don't think a sports team went over 500. This is the worst team in sports, record-wise, in Hillsborough County. and we're the worst grade-wise, GPA-wise in Hillsborough County. So it's the bottom of the bottom.
Okay.
0-10, and I felt like this is a great opportunity. I just left a team that we won district champs.
Yeah.
They always win. It's Plant, right?
Yeah.
They just got named top 10 best Florida teams in the last 20 years. So those kids are motivated. They have the resources, and I always thought, for me, when he retired, I even left to go to Plant.
Yeah.
I said, why won't I just come here and create that for them? Like, why can't we create something on this side of town for these kids where most of everybody kind of gave up on them already? Why can't we create that, make them the cool kids of the city? Let's make them like literally a 0-10 team. Talk about pressure. I like to put myself in those situations. Like, we're 0-10 and I'm talking junk. Like, we about to snap this year. Like, I just love that pressure.
The storm is
like,
coming,
this coach is kind of crazy. Like, 0-10, what is he thinking he's gonna do? But I love it. Like, that's just I love it, bro. And I would get these kids to believe, and that's all it is. Like, Primetime's doing it. His thing was, I believe. Yeah. And he's getting these kids to simply believe. And it's the power of belief overcomes all these fake gurus, what they're selling and taking these people's money. It's not even that. It's really just getting a bunch of kids to believe in one another, a brotherhood, and that's it. It's really no secret. That's it. Yeah,
it's amazing to watch, and I think just thinking about Dion and how Prime's handling it, bringing in these athletes from the former NFL greats. I think he's got Warren Sapp on the sidelines this year. Obviously, being down here at the high school this morning, I mean, you've got a number of NFL players out here. You're bringing in some of the best talent from the area. To me, I just want to tell you, I just heard your whole career story. This is going to be the most important thing that you do. And I think you're going to leave, this experience, and this is going to be the one thing you look back on and go, every single thing I did up into this point was what got me here, right? Which is the biggest impact that you're going to make in life is with these kids. So I just wanted to tell you congratulations, man.
I appreciate that you said that, man. That means a lot, man. It was honestly tough for me. My mom said the same thing. It was tough for me. Like I said, I didn't leave football on my own. I broke my neck coming off of an MVP season. And it was kind of taken away from me, and it did put me in. Just to talk about mental health, because I see it a lot with these young teens. They want to act too cool, like they're not dealing with it. And it's something that's real. Like, I've dealt with a very crazy depression and mental health over before I took this job, like the last 8 months, wondering what's next in life, embarrassed to pop out, am I a failure to the city, to these kids. And I think that these kids help me out more than I'm helping them out. Like, literally, like it's fulfilling for me to be able to put these kids in position and actually to be able to see these kids really look at me wide-eyed, giving me their trust, like with their careers. Like, Coach, nobody else believes in us. We're giving you the trust. Like, let's help us, not to be like a savior, but like just to give me their trust. And you see them when we first got here, 0-10. They don't know how to win. Some habits are just what they are. And for the fact that they're completely changing their lives, like for me, who's just coming back from Canada, and they didn't watch me play. It's just they only hear their parents and people talk about it. It does it for me, man, and I can't wait. Like, August 23rd, make sure y'all check us out. If you're a pro that came from Tampa and you went to the pros, you're always welcome to come here at Chamberlain and practice here for free. That's another thing. Tampa,
there's a lot of them out here, man.
We get about 10 to 12. So it's good, it's inspirational. Like, you see guys from Tampa and we're out here practicing, you see NFL guys training, that you can see what it takes. This all goes back to our model. So I really appreciate you saying that, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
And thanks for taking time to allow me to use your platform.
Hey, no worries. Well, I'll tell you, thank you for tuning into this episode of Conversations. We'll be back in the future with some more exciting guests. If you like what we put together today, please like, comment, share, subscribe. Go follow my man James. Check out Chamberlain football this season. I'm looking forward to seeing you bring a state championship back to your alma mater,
yes, sir. We're going to do some big things. Make sure y'all check us out. Game 1, August 23rd. It's the Category 5 whiteout game. The Storm coming.
Awesome. All right. Thank you.
All right, baby. Appreciate it, man. That's lit.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.